Welcome back to the Undo Summer School. We've officially moved from the us to the it phase of the series. And this is where we go beyond ourselves and others and start focusing on the systems and strategies that shape how we work. If me was about self-leadership and us was about human connection, then it is about operational maturity. It's about building systems that allow you to thrive at scale. And we're going to kick it off with one of the hardest but most important skills of any leader, delegation. So this episode is called Let It Go, aka How to Delegate. Yes, it's a nod to Elsa, but what we're tackling is very real. Because letting go of control isn't just about managing your workload, it's also about ego, it's about identity, and it's about trust. Let's get into it. So our heart lesson for today is why delegation feels so flipping hard. Confession time. I'm a recovering type A control freak. I've said it. It's probably surprising to absolutely no one. In the earlier stages of my career as a manager, delegation felt impossible. I had that classic case of I'll just do it myself-itis. I told myself it'll be faster, it'll be better, it'll be cleaner. No one can quite do it the way I do it. But here's what I eventually learned the hard way. That mindset wasn't just overworking me, it was stifling the people I managed. I wasn't empowering them. I wasn't developing them. I was hoarding opportunities without meaning to. Now, if I'm honest, part of it was ego. I wanted things done my way. But the moment I opened up to the possibility that there were other, sometimes even better ways of doing things, I grew. I grew as a manager. I grew as a leader. Yeah, I think it's fair to say I grew as a person. Delegation done well does three things. It creates space for you to focus on higher value work. It develops others and signals trust. And it builds momentum across the team by distributing ownership. And if you want to scale not just your workload, but your impact, you're going to have to learn to let go. Our head lesson is about understanding delegation through something called situational leadership. So I want to add a bit more structure to this. I want to introduce you to something called the Hersey-Blanchard situational leadership model. It's a mouthful. At its core, situational leadership says that there's no one-size-fits-all management style. Instead, effective leaders flex between four styles depending on the competence and confidence of the person that they're leading. You can Google it to look at a visual of the framework, but I will just talk through how it breaks down. So the first type of situational leadership is directing or telling, and that's when you are directing someone who has low competence but high commitment. So they're brand new to the task, but they're really excited about it. And what you need to do within directing or telling is provide clear, structured guidance and specific instructions. They need what and how. Don't just leave them with a, you can figure it out, right? Then the second type is coaching or selling. This is when you're dealing with someone that has some competence, but low or wavering commitment. So perhaps they've started, but they've hit a few bumps and their confidence is shaky. So what you need to do in this coaching and selling leadership style is stay hands-on, but also focus on motivating, explaining the bigger picture, and building buy-in for what they're working on. Now, a thing to watch out for, this is where micromanagement can often creep in. So really be mindful not to fall into that, okay? Guide them, don't dominate them. The third situational leadership style is supporting or participating. This is when you have somebody who has moderate to high competence, but their commitment is variable. So they can do it, but they might hesitate or sometimes lack confidence. So your role here within supporting or participating, your role is to support them. It's to encourage autonomy, and it's to go about removing blockers for them. Right? Think of it as you give them the steering wheel, but you stay in the passenger seat. And so the fourth and final situational leadership style, which is what we're talking about today, is delegating. And this is when you have somebody that has high competence and high commitment. They've got all the skills and they've got the mindset to do what's needed of them. So this is where you hand over responsibility fully and you trust them to deliver. Your job here, when you delegate, is to stay out of their way, but do be available if you're needed. So delegation, as you can hopefully understand from that breakdown of the model, it sits at the high trust, high skill end. But you have to earn your way there with everybody that you're leading, with every task that you give them. Delegating isn't just dumping things on people. You've got to employ some discernment, all right? So you might be saying, okay, Dulcie, this is all good, but how do I do it? How do I delegate? I think I'm ready. You know, my fellow type A brothers and sisters out there, you may be ready to start delegating. And so I'm going to try and help you do it without shaking. I'm gonna help you take the theory and make it a bit more practical. So the first thing you're going to do is start with why. Don't just throw a task at someone. You know, you need to build commitment with context. So you might say something like, "This is a priority for our leadership team and a great chance for you to lead on something visible." Great, okay. I'm handing this over because I trust you with it and it's part of your growth. By the way, I'm not giving you things to say for the sake of saying it. They've got to be true, okay? Don't just dump things on people, all right? Because when people know why something matters, they will show up differently in how they tackle that task. Then clarify the what. This is really, really important, especially for those of us who live in our heads a lot and it's all in there. It's got to get out there. Okay, so define the outcome clearly. Be so clear on what success looks like, where deadlines exist, and what the boundaries are. So you would say, we need a 2-page proposal by Thursday. It should include these 3 elements, right? Specificity is vital. Or you might say, don't worry about formatting, we'll handle that afterwards, right? So you're giving clarity about exactly what is expected now versus another time or not at all. Vagueness is where delegation often falls. Do not assume that people know what you mean. They're not psychic, okay? So 3 is share the how if needed. So if they're new to the task, offer them a starting point, but don't script every move. So you might say, here's how I've approached it in the past. It's not the only way. You can use what works for you. Or here's a resource or template that might help. Okay? So think more scaffolding, less straitjacket. 4, agree on checkpoints. Don't hover, but don't ghost either. Build in feedback loops. So let's have a 10-minute check-in on Tuesday to see how things are going. Or if anything feels stuck, feel free to ping me whenever you need. Delegation without support is just abandonment in a nice outfit. Okay? 5, create psychological safety. Normalize in your team, normalize asking for help. Set that tone early and often. You might say things like, there's no shame in needing clarity. Come back to me with any questions. You could say, I'd rather hear too much than hear too little. Model that behavior. This, again, is nothing I'm talking about here is about platitudes and empty words. When you say it, mean it. If you don't mean it, don't say it. Okay? Model the behavior. Make sure it's clear that within this environment, it is safe to speak up and to do so before anything goes wrong. And even if it's after things go wrong, it's all good. We can fix it together. Okay? I feel like psychological safety is a much, much bigger topic that we'll have to maybe tackle in season 3 of the Undo podcast. But yeah, model good behavior here, okay? All right, number 6, review and reflect. Always close the loop. Celebrate what went well and share what could be improved upon. So you could say things like, you ran that brilliantly, especially the stakeholder piece. Or one thing for next time, let's build in more time for sign off. Feedback, and we've done feedback, so you can go back if you want to refresh on what good feedback sounds and looks like. But feedback is how good delegation becomes great development. 7, let go of perfection. Don't stop. Don't press pause. Don't close Spotify. Stay with me. This one can be really hard. Somebody else's 100% might not be your 100%. But if the outcome is solid, if it is good enough, let it stand. They did it their way and it worked. Okay? Next time you can hold back a bit more. You can just trust the process. You're not just delegating tasks, you're delegating trust. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you have to accept crap from somebody, right? But just try and stay objective about what good enough is and being okay with good enough. All right, that one goes out to my type A's out there. It's good enough. It's good enough. Okay. One more thing I want to add. It's maybe a little Brucey bonus. It's delegation as a form of self-leadership. So delegation isn't just about managing other people. It's about how you lead yourself better. Delegation means that you can create mental space for you to start thinking strategically. It means that you can avoid overwork and martyrdom. It means that you can learn to operate at the right altitude for you and your rhythms. And crucially, it allows you to teach your team how to grow, not just what to do. All right? Okay, so hopefully that all helped. I offer training for leaders when it comes to delegation. So if that's something you'd be interested in, go to thisisworkwell.com/work with us, because when you delegate well, you don't just free yourself, you build others. And so, my darlings, with that, I wish you a wonderful week and I will see you next Monday.